Hi, I'm Juanita from Nearby Artisans, and I'm going to show you how you can use this image effects tool to alter and change some images. You can find this if your menu is on the right side. It is the sixth item down, or you can go over to Panels and click the image effects that way. I'm going to use this, and this flip is very popular right now, and it has been for some time. People are using it for sports teams, for mascots, for lots of different things. I've seen baseball, football, things there. And when you get this, you get it pretty much in a basic color gold, or you can get a couple of other colors, but I'm going to show you how you can make this several colors so that you have a choice of the colors that you have it. You go to your image effects. You can make it a grayscale, and that turns it just gray. Or you can go to colorize, and you can colorize those. You get a nice green, nice turquoise kind of color, nice rich deep blue, purples, fuchsias, reds, and then once you get it the color that you want, you can go ahead and save it as that color. But I would make a copy of the original because you want to keep that the original the way it is, and then just make your copies. And then you can go in and whatever you do with this, whether you cut it out or I would just do sublimation with it. You could also do some nice print and cuts. You could do this on those printable fabrics, printable vinyl. So that's how you do that. You can also do it to colorize this flip here. It's the same one, but just doesn't have the drippy glitter. And again, like that. Or there's other options up here you can do also. You can change the gamma of it, which I don't know why you would want to do that. Maybe you'd want the inside of the mouth to be more red. And then you could go in and you could go ahead and cut this out right along here and keep that. And then you could put that with your whatever color you decided for the lips to be. You can also do an inversion of the colors, which kind of turns it into an X-ray type image. I think the reason you might want to do that is see how the sparkles are made. They look like they're little X's. Maybe with I do have some ideas on how to make that, but I'll put that in a later video. Or if you want to just kind of see like what's there, these look like streaks. Say if you wanted to do some designing on your own, you could see better how this is made, and you could do your own. You can choose the strength or the weakness of colors. You can go in and you can change the RGB and change the color of the design. And you can, I also would, once I got the mouth how I want it, I would go ahead and cut that out. And that way, when you change the lips, if you change it, and sometimes the teeth are not quite so white, and then you can just pop that back on there and have your original mouth. So that's just some of the things you can do with these lips. And you can also change the colors of, this is just a sheet of glitter that I took a picture of and scanned in. You can also find these on the internet, and I can change the glitter color. Now, why I would want to do that, I don't know, because you could pretty much find every color of glitter that exists, but the glitter paper or the glitter HTV. But maybe I do want a color that I just can't find, and I can go in and I can at least see what my options are here. Like maybe I can't find quite that shade, and I can go up to the RGB and I can look up what color that I want for this glitter, and I can put them in and get a real specific color for the for this glitter, and then cut out an image using that as my color. And again, the strength of it, it's kind of a bronze. So you can change the whole sheet of glitter. You can also change these images. I get a lot of free images from the internet. You just have to be careful of whether or not you're using them for personal use or commercial use. And if you're using them for commercial use, please pay for your commercial licenses from these artists. But I can change, say if that's just kind of too pink and too strong for me, I can go ahead and I can change the coloring. Now this is in the strength of the color. I'll go over to colorize. Maybe I want more of blue, and I could get a blue there for a background, purples. I have this kind of a clapboard fence. I think that's what they're called, or just the side of a wall. Again, I can colorize that. Maybe I don't want the pinks and the yellows. I want more yellow and green, or kind of a blue and a turquoise color, purples. And I can also change, like I could apply that, and then I could go to the RGB, and then I could further change that. That's a nice deep purple. Oh, it's kind of pretty. And I can get some real customized colors here of what I would like, what suits me. I could get a solid blue. So anyway, and then if I had the solid blue, I could go in and I could do the is it the strength? Yeah, maybe I would get rid of some of the brightness. So anyway, that's one of the sometimes after you make a lot of changes, it's interesting to see what it was originally. I always make a copy. Sometimes I change too many things and then my computer drastically doesn't like that. So I have to just give it a minute to get caught up here. But while I'm doing that, I can talk about, oh, there we go. The same thing with this wreath. I get a lot of wreaths and florals, and again, I can go in and say I want to have that and be more peach and corals, more browns, maybe blues. Again, the RGB, I can alter it again, and then I can also have it be all black. And now I could go in and I could cut this out. I could go in and trace this, and it would trace the whole thing. And then I could save that, then go into my flower, print this out, and I could have it cut the black. And that way, if it cuts out what I put in the black, it's going to cut out every one of these without having to trace the whole thing. And to me, that's just a wonderful way to go, is to just be able to right there, and then just make sure that they're lined up the same, and then go in and do the trace on this, and then cut that out perfectly. Every little leaf, all these little things would be cut out. Another thing that I like to do, I want to cancel all of these, because I could just not save them when I close this out, but just that way I'm sure that it's not going to accidentally save them if something happens to my computer. I also like to do, I use Paint a lot. I have Photoshop and I have other paint programs, but I just keep this open on my desktop, and I can go in and I can just quickly do a little paint here, save it as a JPEG or a PNG, and then I can pop it into my Silhouette Studio software, and I can use it that way. On here, there's this one right here is it'll pop up watercolor brush. I have an oil brush. I have a spray airbrush right here, And then I can go in and I can click and say if I wanted multicolors here, and then I can go in and then save this. And then I pull it up. And it looks like it's just a big old mess, but I have reasons for all of these. This was one that I did with some blue watercolors in paint. And I liked it because it kind of looks like the sky on a day where there's just thin wispy clouds in the sky, sun peeking out here in this section. And I just really liked that. I can also go up and change the colors for that if I decided later. Yeah, I could go in and I could pick these paint colors, but maybe I just want something quick and just kind of look and see choices. And then I'll just cancel that. Could go into the RGBs also. The yellows, go in and see how that changes. See, it's kind of nice. That's kind of a pretty color. And just go in and take a look at what you can change. This image effects is just really great for for JPEGs and PNGs. Now, I made this Merry Christmas here by going in and doing watercolors for, I did the top watercolor green and red, of course, as you can see there. Then I went in and I created some text, and you know how to do that, I'm sure, so I just went ahead and did it. And this font is Dandelion Script. And then I went and I'm going to place this, I'm going to turn this a color that's not red or green so that I get a good, so I can really see where, I guess I'll just do, I don't want the fill. I want the line color black so that I can really see it, my placement here. Okay, so I think I want it to have, and again, while I was doing the red and the green, I could have done some things that way too. I could have done this at an angle if I wanted it to be more angled, or I could even just turn it here at this point. This gives me a lot of fun things that I can do. I could turn this so that I could get some red and some green for each section there. Maybe I'll just do that. And then I'll click on both of these. And I'm going to go over to crop. And now I have my Merry Christmas there that's, kind of neat. I could print this out for cards. And, I like that. I could also, for, say, tags or even for a shirt, I could put this on a shirt, Merry Christmas, do some printable vinyl. For this one, I could say I want to put a name. I'll go ahead and type out my daughter's name. One of my daughters. I make that bigger. I think that's also the Dandelion Script. I'm going to weld that. I'm going to place it. I think I want more of the white to show through, so I'm going to make it a little bigger because that'll give me more white sections here. I'm going to place that. Click on both of them. I'm going to crop that. And now I have that name. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I don't need to do a compound path, but now I can go up to colorize again and, see if there's a different color that I like better. That's kind of nice. See, I have a lot of choices besides just what's here just right in front of me. This is just kind of a fun thing to do. I like the flexibility between creating the colors of every color that exists in paint. Once I get it here, I can also see if there's just a couple of other options that I liked. I could go here And I tried to make sure there was more white in this section. And say if I'm doing gift tags, and I'm going to do mom, I'm going to go over to my fonts and just pick a basic font. Just do Arial. Well, I'll do it after I'm just going to pick Arial for that font. I'm going to spread it out, put it up there, maybe get some of that white up in there. I can always expand this after I get my letters. And that's kind of neat, you know, it's just a little version of, you know, watercolor type. I make it bigger. I get more of the multicolor there. And it's really fun to work with this. Another thing that the Image Effects does is a shadow. I could give this a shadow, and you can see the bit of shadow there. Now, if I'm using this for print and cut, printable vinyl, sublimation printing, it might be kind of neat to have this shadow. I can also place the shadow wherever I want. Say if I want the shadow to be 1/2 inch. And this is the X and Y axis. I did this on a previous video with another one of the other tools. The X and Y axis, X goes across, Y goes down, negative Y goes up, negative X goes to the left. So I'm just going to do an even shadow there. That's just too much. So I would go to, say, 0.25 maybe, and this one maybe 0.33. And there I get that much of a shadow. I think it to be more to the side. Now, of course, a shadow is always assuming that there's light. So light coming down from the top would be this. From if the light is coming from the left side, your shadow is going to be to the right. You just think of what kind of a shadow you get when you're outside or if you're in a bright light. And you can also release the shadow and move it around however you want. And decide. I like to decide things based on the numbers. So you can choose a shadow color. It doesn't have to be the gray. You could say I want it to be more that color, more of in the purple, say, in this range. Is it changing the colors here? It should be changing them. I think I'll release the shadow. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Now I can change that color. If you can see that it's just slightly changing it. I don't think it's going to give it the brilliant color that I had there, but it'll change it some. It might change it. Do release shadow again. There we go. Okay, so you have to go to click on this there, and see now it's giving me another shadow, the shadow of whatever color I have picked here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. It looked like it was giving me multiple shadows there. So I'm going to release the shadow. I'm going to go to no shadow to get rid of it. And now I'm going to click on that. I'm going to find a color that I like here. I guess like maybe there, since it's a purplish, I guess. Yeah, like that. Go up a little bit here, and now I'll create my shadow. And I'm going to create my shadow to be more to the in there. And again, if I release the shadow completely, I can place it how I want. And this one right here gives me a fixed shadow. So anyway, you can play around with those. It's kind of neat to play with these things. Like I could do a shadow for the star there. I could change the shadow color. Here again, it's letting me change it. If you see the shadow, if you watch the star, the shadow behind, it's going to change it based on what I have here. It's just going to kind of give me shadow colors. Get a little brighter, but I can go down to the darker colors too. And anyway, it's just fun to do that. It's fun to do that for the print cuts. And I hope you try these things. I hope you like them. And have fun with them. There's so many things here. So many. And check out the Nearby Artisans Facebook page, where I'll have some files every day to download.